1 penny on every milligram of opiates that's produced and consumed in this country would raise about $1.5 to $2 billion a year. I would hope it would raise none, but it would raise that much because of the amount of consumption we have. We consume 80% of all the world opiates. So with that, we can start putting treatment centers and curing people. For the past year, I've been coming to the Senate floor to read letters from West Virginians and those struggling all throughout our country with opiate abuse, Mr. President. These letters have a common theme. They all mention how hard it is to get themselves or their loved one into treatment. Sometimes it takes months and sometimes it never happens. Most of the time it never happens. This problem stems from our lack of a system to help those who are looking to help. We need permanent funding. We talked about that. So that's why I've introduced my lifeboat. And today I'm going to read a letter from a mother from West Virginia. No different than a mother from Alaska, I can assure you, who lost her daughter to drug abuse after she struggled to get her into treatment facilities she desperately needed. This is Leigh Wilson's story. On behalf of the families who have lost their children to addiction, I ask that any health law reforms contain a serious effort to ensure effective addiction treatment for all who need it, whatever it takes. Just yesterday, the Boston Globe published a special report about my daughter, Leanne Taylor. Her name was Taylor Leigh Wilson. The daughter's name was Taylor Leigh Wilson. That's Leanne's daughter. My youngest child was one of the West Virginians' promising young people. A former Girl Scout, she was a Cabell Midland High School graduate, a Marshall student who wanted to turn her love of books into a career as a librarian. But drugs destroyed her life despite her willingness and months of effort to get treatment. Taylor's overdose was the first. You have to listen to this. You're just not going to believe what happened in Huntington, West Virginia on this day. Taylor's overdose was the first of 28 that were reported in Huntington in a span of 5 hours. 5 hours, 28 overdoses on August 15, 2016. The horror of that afternoon made national news. Then the reporters left. Our nightmare, though, was just beginning. Taylor and I would spend the next 41 days trying to get help. We drove door to door in search of inpatient treatment beds to isolate her from the heroin world. All we found were waiting lists, out-of-state centers that wouldn't take West Virginia Medicaid, and doctors who discouraged Taylor from inpatient treatment, saying she could do it without it. Then Taylor put her name on Prostera's waiting list for Suboxone, a drug proven to reduce withdrawal symptoms. No one told her how long she might have to wait, though evidence suggests that the combination of counseling and prescription drugs to reduce craving can be very effective. Our lawmakers have restricted the availability of this medication. On September 28, 2016, Prostera Center called to inform me that Taylor had been accepted in its Suboxone program. Now that's September the 28th, and as I told you, this happened on August 15th. So September 28th, Prostera called to inform me that Taylor had been accepted in a Suboxone program. I had to tell them that she had overdosed and died 3 days before. The next February, I got a call from Prostera, Pinecrest, following up on Taylor's application for recovery housing and to see if she was still interested. Before she passed away, Taylor herself told the Boston Globe reporter that the real story that needs to be told is why there are no treatment beds when our state has a crisis epidemic. Your state, my state, almost every state in America has this. Why must it be so hard to get addiction treatment in the state with the nation's highest drug death rate? 818 deaths last year alone, most of them from legal prescription drugs. Think about how this epidemic has gotten to this proportion. We have a drug that's put on the market by the FDA. This is an organization, a federal agency, that's supposed to make sure that we have, for consumption, a safety net built into it. So the FDA puts their stamp of approval. This is a product that can be used and it should be of help. Then it goes to the DEA to find out who's allowed to dispense it without any type of education or any type of work to make sure that there's competency in our doctors who are prescribing, or I might say over-prescribing. Then it goes to a doctor who's the most trusted person outside of our family that says, this is going to help you. This is good for you, okay. Now this is what we're talking about, what's killing West Virginians and Americans every day. If you needed heart surgery and had insurance providers around the state would compete for your care. That's what she's saying. There's someone there in any other treatment or any other need for treatment of any illness, we can find help. But not this. This has been such a silent killer that I know, and my family included, every one of us that I talk to, anybody that I talk to knows somebody in their immediate family, extended family, or a close friend has been affected. All of our young interns right here know the same. They know people. But yet we keep it quiet, especially if it's in our family, we keep quiet, because it's embarrassing. We don't want anybody to know that we have failed as a family structure. Something fell apart for this to happen. Why would someone have to turn to drugs when they've got a loving, caring family? We just didn't understand. So we kept quiet about it. And it wasn't a Democrat or Republican, a liberal or conservative cause. This is a killer that goes, it has no boundaries. It attacks everybody. And that's why I'm saying, when you see a mother that's doing everything she can to give her daughter somewhere just to save her life and can't get her in. And we're talking about, well, this 1 penny. Said, what's a 1 penny tax, Joe? I can't vote for any new taxes. I said, I'm not asking you to vote for a tax. I'm asking you to look at any of your constituents in the eye and says, we have a program that's life-saving for you or your family member. God forbid if you ever need it. We have it. And what I've said is, we didn't hesitate to put taxes on cigarettes. Didn't hesitate. Everybody voted for taxes on cigarettes. Everybody has voted for taxes on alcohol. I'm asking for 1 penny to save thousands and thousands of lives in America. And I'll guarantee you there won't be one person vote against a Republican or a Democrat that would vote for something that's going to put a permanent funding that puts treatment centers in the most needed areas of America and saves people's lives. There aren't enough resources to accommodate the addiction problem in the heroin capital of the U.S. Taylor herself told the reporter, if no one changes, this whole city will go under. Now let me tell you in the city of Huntington what they're doing right now. I've met with them last week when I was home. They're going to have a center of excellence started with Marshall University, the city of Huntington, Cabell County, the entire organization, all of the policymakers are working together because this is something they're fighting every day. This center of excellence is built